I kinda like that name. Volume. Hey, what's up guys? Welcome to the channel. If you're new, be sure to subscribe to Vader's channel. I'm just here to do a video for Vader since he's busy, and today's video is going to be on the new Mono. And she released on January 12th, which was my birthday. Ironically, they gave me a Mono on my birthday, but the unfortunate thing is that she sucks, and they kind of made her a massive L. I'll explain why and once we get into the video, but make sure you guys do subscribe to Vader's channel. He's trying to push up to 400 subs. And if you would like to check out Epic 7 side of things, make sure you check out my channel in the description below. Alright, so let's go ahead and break down this Mono, okay? Alright, so her passive, Shadow Onslaught, for every catastrophe ally on the battlefield in PvP, increases basic stats of the 7 catastrophes allies by 6% at the start of the battle, increases the hero's damage dealt by the hero's crit chance. Now, her passive's okay. Like, it's an okay passive. It's a 7 catastrophe passive. It seems to be relatively okay. But there's a huge issue, and that's in this game, crit chance is very inconsistent. It doesn't matter how much crit chance you give someone. It's never enough. Like, it just is never enough to do consistent crits because they make the power creep up of the game's crit resistance and crit defense so high that it's just really hard to actually do something about it, right? So that part of the passive, like the whole point of her doing crits is just really annoying and hard to do when the catastrophe lineup isn't that strong to really help support that style of play. So the passive's okay. Like, I do think her passive is okay, though if I were to pick one passive or the other, I think the green mono's Ironblood mono's passive is just vastly better in every aspect of the way. It's vastly better. You're giving debuffs to the enemy, so that means she'll work better with Lilia, and then on top of that, she's also, decreasing the critical, resistance and critical defense of an enemy by 30% without needing a blue card to give herself crit chance. So she's already doing something that this blue mono wants to do, but better. Because blue mono, you need to use her blue card, right? It's the same thing. Level 2 is only 30% chance to increase. Where green mono, she has that in her passive already built in. Yes, obviously level 3 card is really good, but you're never going to get it because realistically, you're trying to run this mono on a full catastrophe team, and there's no units that rank up consistently on that team. And Green Shin really isn't meta right now and isn't really a viable option because he's just going to die turn 2, right? So this overall units kit from the blue card and the passive's already worse than this right here. It's worse. This is just better because it's more universal for multiple teams. You can use her with the best units in the game, which are like Purgatory, Meliodas, and the one Escanar, right? Or the ultimate one Escanar or whatever. Like, she has the option to flex to those teams. Where this mono is exclusively going to be used for the Catastrophe team, which has been treated very poorly. And they just don't ever seem to really give these units enough because they're not festivals. And that's just the truth about the Catastrophe team, is that it's not loved enough. Even though they do make these cool units with their cool animations, they don't give them enough in their kits. And this unit and Green Mono are still missing a relic on top of it, which makes it even harder to use them. Let's talk about this Mono's positives. So, like, she does have a positive. Her one attack card is technically better than the spike card. Like, yes, weak point is technically better than the spike card. Now, here comes the issue again. This is a weak point. You need to have a way to debuff. She has no way to debuff on her own, like this mono. I think what they should have did is just buff this mono and give her a weak point in her kit. Just replace the spike card with the weak point, or just buff the spike card in general because it's just worse than weak point in every way, and just made this mono better instead of releasing a whole new one. They could have just made the Shogun outfit an outfit for her instead of wasting a blue unit that is just worse in every way than the old one that they've already released. In every way is this new one worse, except for the AoE weak point. That's the only thing that she's got going for her, is the AoE weak point, where this unit's got a better single target card because she has a single target card, and she can still do decent damage with a spike card with enough support on the team. And on top of that, she's not restricted to any Catastrophe team exclusively. Right? Her ultimate's still amazing, one of the best ults in the game. I do think if you're going to try to explode something with this ult, this passive's also better because one, you have a better chance to crit, and two, your whole team can utilize this. On top of that, she's stacking her attack to make this thing hit really, really hard, right? So once again, there's another aspect to look at when it comes to mono versus mono. The green mono's ultimate's going to hit naturally harder due to the effect that she has this and her passive, which is the 7% attack every time she applies her passive at the start of turn. Yes, it's restrictive. Yes, you can't use Kyo with her, but it doesn't matter when Kyo isn't a catastrophe unit himself. It does not matter. Also, the issue is, once again, she has a weak point, but no way to naturally debuff unless you run a catastrophe unit that can debuff. In most cases, you're going to be running Awakened Lilia, but Awakened Lilia wants debuff, so that way she can utilize her relic. So it's really counterproductive when it comes to using these units together. If you want to use Blue Lilia, you want to use this mono with her, because once again, this passive is universal, and you can bring another unit like Kyo along with this unit, right? Because she's also just buffing the catastrophes, but isn't restricted to just a catastrophe team because she's got such a powerful relic. Where this motto is exclusively for the catastrophe team. And you want to run all 3 units on the field as catastrophe to max out this right here. Because 12% is not enough for basic stats, right? So you want to make sure that you're rocking a 3 lineup of catastrophes. Alright, so what we're going to do is I'm going to jump in game and explain explain what's going on here. So ideally in a team comp with the catastrophes, you want something like this. You want Green Easton in the back because her passive is relatively okay. Awaken Mono and Lilia because she's got an okay passive. It's not a great, it's good ult control. It's just, it could have been better, right? She does increase human allies basic stats by 7% for each enemy defeated, which is really cool. But the issue is there's no starter turn passive. She only has the ult control, so you're already losing a little bit out on this unit as is. And the other Easton is just giving you damage reduction, but the thing is they're not very tanky as is unless you run green base Valenti. So I just think overall value, this one's better due to the fact that you have ult control at the bare minimum. You want to use the green Awakened mono because once again her passive's universal, and 2, she's just a better unit in general than the blue one because she's more universal and allows you to flex the team into other units. This unit right here, the center unit, can be Purgatory Meliodas, it can be the one ultimate. It just makes the team a little bit more fluid and more meta-based than just running a full catastrophe team. If I go and take off Rimuru and just put in catastrophes here, we'll go by characteristics, the 7 catastrophes, there's not any options. Unfortunately, they dropped the ball on this red Valenti. This red Valenti isn't that good. I'm sorry, she's not. She does nothing for your team. She decreases the critical damage of enemies on the battlefield by 75% of the hero's crit defense. Cool. That's cool, I guess, but she's doing nothing outside of that, right? This card needs a level 2 to do anything. This card needs a level 2 to do anything, and her ultimate's just kind of, it can be good at 6/6, but it's just not really great. So this unit was overall just L to begin with. It was not a buff to the catastrophes. It was just kind of a nerf to the MK2 series of Valentis, right? So you're not running that. And what other units might you run? We have no good Camillas. We have just usable Shins, but they're not great by any means. We have some Roxys, but they're not, once again, they're not great. And then we have, I guess, the only other option to be ran on this team would be, in theory, it would be, where is she at? Green base Valenti, but I'm blind, I can't find her. So, like this, Valenti. So this Valenti right here is your only option for a full catastrophe team because she's actually providing you some, utility. She's giving you this because you're going to build her off this anyway, so she'll be better in geared. She sucks in ungeared, and then at least at the end of the day, she is giving you this, which will make green mono be able to crit more consistently with her weak point, right? Her single target weak point will crit more consistently with this. Once again, her issue is still the same thing. She's not a great unit. She's just kind of okay. Her ult can be pretty good. Her relic's decent, but once again, the Valentis are just kind of hit or miss depending on how you look at them. So having the flexibility to draft something like a Rimuru, a Purgatory Meliodas, or something just better that's more meta, and then running the full catastrophe team is just more beneficial than running her. It's just until we get a good catastrophe support for the team that gives you a 6 debuffs and actual support, the catastrophe team's just kind of dead, right? Because let's be honest, this mono can do a lot of damage with this card, but the draw rates will give you blue cards more often than not than the red card, from what I can tell. And then this mono, she gets single target a lot more, and like at least her spike card is usable. You can use this to just ramp up your damage on your secret technique. So even if you're not using the spike card, that will just go to the secret technique damage, right? So I just think green mono is the unit to build a relic for in general, because she's just overall better for your team, because when you're not limited to this gimmicky team that doesn't work. Like, the team just does not work. They keep building these catastrophes that have nothing to do with supporting each other, and they're trying to do too much with it. Like, yes, this is a passive that could be good in the future, but until you get the teams that are the units that actually support this unit, there's no point of doing it. Because one, you still want a unit like this that has this type of passive for her to actually utilize crits, because this is not enough. Giving yourself more crit rate and more crit damage is neat in concept, but when you can't crit the enemy in general, this is a dead card to begin with. At least with this, you're not wasting any cards. You're getting the actual crit chance and critical resistance, you know, torn off your opponents so that you can still do more damage. But this blue card was just a miss to begin with, because even with as much crit chance as you can give her, she can still miss crits. Now, whenever you do get level 3 cards on her, like weak point level 3, buff blue card level 3, she can look absolutely amazing. But the only way to do that is, once again, with rank ups, and you're not using rank ups with her if you're trying to utilize this full passive. So until they give a rank up to a catastrophe, which will probably never happen because the card is broken, this unit is just not going to flow well. They could give her a Holy Relic that gives her natural rank ups, but that would just make, once again, this mono better to begin with, because you have 2 sets of damage cards. So no matter what they go into the direction of the Relic, if it gives more debuffs, this mono is going to be better with Lilia. If it gives rank ups, this mono is going to be better in general. If they give this anything that they build the Relic for, this mono should just be better in general, because she has the overall better kit universally. Also, her single target card does hit very hard, and even though the spike card can be a little bit of a miss at times, at level 3 this thing is still very good, and you can just hold it in your hand and not have to worry about it, because once again, she's got a good single target, and she can be ran with other units that want to do damage as well. By Lilia, by Purgatory Meliodas, like, it's just better overall an experience to use this mono, because she's just better overall than Moon Shadow. Don't get me wrong, she's got a cool outfit, but when it comes to her kit, the only thing she has going is this, and that's just not enough to it's just not enough to just throw this whole unit away when this unit's overall better built, because her passive is just better in most cases because it's more universal. So there you guys go. That's going to be the video for today. If you're wondering if you summon on, you know, blue mono and global, don't. Unless you want the outfit, just don't do it. Overall, whenever the awakened mono does get a relic, you can kind of bet the green awakened mono will just be better in general, because blue mono's kit's just too flawed. I don't think just giving a unit an AoE weak point is enough to justify making a unit good in these type of meta. Don't get me wrong, AoE weak point is better than AoE spike, but when it comes to everything else about this unit, it's just lackluster. Her blue card is whatever. Her ult's not going to hit as hard because the other one is stacking up her attack, and the catastrophe passive is just too exclusive. In a meta team, like we're in a game where festivals are kind of running the meta. Until they treat these units better, it's just not worth it. On top of that, her banner's kind of mid. So that's going to be it, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. Once again, I'm the biggest mono fan out there, which is why I made this video. And I wanted to really like this new mono. I was semi-excited until I saw her kit. I was like, oh, she's got an AoE weak point, sick. And then everything else about her kit just kind of flops. So unfortunately for their Netmarble, they dropped the ball again on the catastrophe units, and they keep continually and consistently dropping the ball on most of them. There's only 2 or 3 good ones, and that would be these 3. Awakened Green Mono, Awakened Blue Lilia, and Green Easton are the only good catastrophes right now that you should be running in the meta. Everything else is just kind of a scam unit or just a meme. So thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll talk to you later. Remember to subscribe to Vader's channel. Peace.